Today we will discuss the saddest RG in Roblox. You really have no idea. It was very sad and very strange. It was not difficult to understand, but what was shown there will definitely surprise you, and perhaps you will even be able to cry because it was too sad. The story will tell us about two players, two best friends who really love to play Roblox, but what the story will lead to in the end, it is very sad. So if you like sad stories in Roblox, then definitely watch this video to the end because you will definitely like it. Well, before the video starts, I ask you to subscribe to my channel. We are going to the goal of 10,000 subscribers, and if you have not subscribed yet, then please guys do it. For me, it is very important. And also do not forget to put your like. For me, this is a huge motivation to make even more interesting videos. I try to post a video once every 4 days, so support my motivation to make a lot of videos with your like. And in the comments, write your theories or opinions about what you will see today, and of course, write whether you are sad, and we begin. It all starts with such a strange video, but it doesn't matter what we see here. The most important thing is what happens on the audio track. And there the main character greets us. He says that his name is Dennis, and he recently created a new account, and now he can't find his friend Victor, with whom he so often loved to play the game ROBLOX. Also on the new account in the account, he made himself a nickname that will attract the attention of his friend, whom he lost. But today he will go to play the modes that he played with his friend to find him, because he can play them at this moment. They met in the game ROBLOX and almost every day for 10 hours played together while the summer holidays were taking place. And now he goes to search. This is where the video ends. Here everything is normal so far. He is looking for his friend, whom he lost. Of course it is strange, because he could just remember his name and add friends, but it seems he forgot it, or something strange is happening. And yes, I'll tell you right away, there's something unusual here, and the whole story will unfold completely differently, not as you think so far. Let's move on to the next video, and there are finally no obstacles there. Now he chooses the mode he wants to play, and by the way, his new name is more noticeable here, Dennis and Victor, my friend. There are too many people with that name, so I think it's a strange idea to search for your friend using your name in Roblox. He enters some mode and says that he and Victor often played it together, and also in the Roblox chat he asks, "Victor, are you here?" But obviously no one answers him. He didn't find any Victors here at all. Then he tries to choose a car, and he does this for a really long time. He doesn't say anything at this point. He just silently chooses the car he's interested in. Perhaps he was remembering which car he played with before to attract his friend, whom he lost. Finally, he chooses the right car and starts driving around the location. In the end, he drives for about 2 minutes and then crashes and flips over. Then he opens his chat, and there he writes, "The same thing happened to Victor." But what is this? Why did he write this? I only had one thought. His friend flipped over in his car and the main character knows about it, but for some reason he is still trying to find his friend. Apparently there is something wrong with his head. He knows that his friend died, but he continues to look for him. Let's move on because there are several more videos that will prove my words, but I will say right away, in psychology, such situations are quite common. Thus, the main character tries to get over this loss and not think about it, to distract himself. Not to think about the fact that his friend died and imagine that he just lost him. The next video is ordinary games, and in this video there is almost no sound. It will be at the end. Here the main character simply chose some mode, and in a scary atmosphere, a scary theme. He plays it, runs around the area, goes through the story, and then at the end gets scared by a fallen ladder, and says a phrase, "Victor would definitely like this mode. We need to invite him to play together tomorrow. I'll record another video." But what are these words for? Because from the very beginning, we watch how the main character is looking for his friend, and then he says that he rolled over in the car, and now he even says that he will invite him to play together. What is happening to the main character's head? Or he is just joking, and in the next video we will really see his friend. But it's not that simple, because this story is very sad and nothing good will happen in the end. Let's move on to the next video, and then maybe you will begin to understand what is happening to the main character. The next video starts with a regular game, and yes, it is some regular parkour. The main character greets the viewers and says that he and Victor will go through this test, but we don't see Victor. We understand from the information from the server that only one person is playing this game. This is the main character, Dennis. He starts going through all the tests, jumping, running, and also trying to communicate with his friend Victor, but he doesn't answer him. It's as if he's nowhere to be found. Then the main characters play on and do this for about 2 minutes. He goes through about 1% of all the tests, and then says that Victor isn't here. Apparently he's been going through all the tests for too long. I should probably wait for him. I'll run a little bit here and wait for Victor. Then we just watch the main character stand still, and he does this for about 10 minutes. He stands and literally waits for his friend motionless. Perhaps at this point he looks at the screen to see someone, or simply moves away to wait for his friend. But nothing happens. Dennis stands still. And at the end of the video, it just breaks off. We don't see any friend. And it's obvious because he's still alone on the server. I think you get it now. Victor died a long time ago and the main character is playing with him. He imagines him. Now Victor is the main character's imaginary friend, and if you think about it, it's really sad. Imagine that you've lost a loved one or just a good friend, and now you imagine that you're playing with him, although he doesn't exist at all. You've invented him in your head to somehow console yourself, and that's not the end of the story. Then everything develops. The next video looks like this. It's some kind of distorted nonsense, nothing is clear, but it's like the ROBLOX game menu is open here in order to select modes to play. But the most important thing here is not what's happening on the screen, but what's happening on the audio track. After all, we hear some kind of distorted crying there. I think I understand what's going on. Just listen for a few seconds. I don't want to show too much so there won't be any problems. Just listen, guys, and you'll understand everything yourself. Perhaps now we finally hear the protagonist realize the gravity of what happened and how deeply he experiences the death of his friend. It seems that he really died in a car accident. His car flipped over while returning home. Everything we saw in the penultimate video was most likely just an illusion, an attempt to escape the truth, a fiction born in the head of the protagonist so as not to come face to face with reality. The next video is the final one. In it, the protagonist, with tears in his eyes, tells what really happened. In order not to shock you too much, I decided not to insert his voice, but simply retell what he said in his own words. He told us that Victor died while driving home from college. The car flipped over, and despite all the efforts of the doctors, they could not save him. Victor's parents reported the tragedy. He died and will never be able to return. Not to real life, not to games, not to the conversations that used to be between friends. It was a heavy blow. The main character tried to cope with the pain. He turned to a psychologist, hoping to somehow heal the emotional wounds. The psychologist advised him to pretend that Victor was still there, that he now lived as an imaginary friend with whom he could talk, as before. He said, "Imagine that he exists, shoot a video, watch it again, as if he were with you." And the main character did just that. He created a video, lived in this illusion, but it only got worse. You can't fool the heart. He withdrew more and more into himself. The depression intensified, but he did not want to give up. In this last video, he honestly tells his story, not for pity, but in order to perhaps help others who are experiencing similar losses. He says that he will no longer follow advice that does not help him. He does not want to live in an illusion. He will simply remember Victor as he was, a kind, bright person, and he will keep this memory in his heart. This is where the story ends. The main character, Dennis, finally told the whole truth. He opened up to the audience, shared his pain, and now everything fell into place. It turned out that all this time we were watching him trying to cope with the loss, his internal struggle, the tragedy that he was trying to turn into something meaningful. To be honest, this story shocked me. I guessed that it could be serious, but I hoped until the very end that it was just a joke, fiction, some kind of prank, like it happens on the internet. But alas, everything turned out to be real. This horror really happened. I sincerely hope that everything will be fine in your life. Take care of yourself and your friends. Monitor their condition, communicate, do not lose touch. Sometimes a simple message can save someone's soul. Thank you for your attention. If you found this story interesting and if it touched you, please support this video with a like, subscribe to the channel, and write in the comments what you think about all this. Were you really sad? Did this story touch you as much as it touched me? Thank you very much for watching. See you later. Bye-bye.